Hey, welcome to The Loop. Today we'll be discussing government shutdown, violence in the city, community outreach, and black excellence. And our cast members will be today Shell and Will.
What's happening?
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all feeling today?
Feeling real good, bro. What's up, Will?
What's
going on?
Good. I'm excited,
Yeah.
First day, it's something special. First day of the podcast. But really what I wanted to touch on, like what I was saying earlier in the introduction as well, like the government shutdown. So I wanted to speak on that and get a feel on how y'all feel about that, and how is it affecting y'all communities as well and jobs with, inside your communities.
Well, as far as the shutdown, for me, at this point, I'm happy that I haven't been affected in employment-wise. However, I do have a number of people in my circle that have been affected by this and who are going to be affected later on. But it's not just a federal worker thing. It's affecting the whole community as a whole, and I think a lot of people are failing to realize that. They take it very, very they take it as a game right now, but until it starts to hit directly home, it won't be taken as serious as it should be.
Right. And I just want to let the people know that this is just not affecting the poor. It's touching many homes, and it's just not, like I say, directly towards the poor. So do you think it's a good idea, Will? Do you think it's a good idea? Pertaining to, like, for reason being, do you support the wall? Like,
No, I definitely don't support the wall. I definitely don't support us even paying for the wall due to the fact that they even made him our president. I was going for Hillary Clinton, to be honest. But, I don't support it at all. At the end of the day, it's affecting everybody in ways that's obvious. You got people that's out here, looking for help, in certain ways. It's like this, it's the cycle. It's going over again,
Right.
And it's like, he's playing it, as a game, when in actuality these people lives
like a kid,
he's just throwing the temperature. Yeah. He really want what he want, and if you don't give it to him, this is what he gonna do. So,
right,
right now it's like.
Do y'all really think that that Trump is the one that's completely behind all the shenanigans about the conversation about the shutdown? Because y'all know the president only has so much control.
Right.
Congress and every other aspect of our political party has more control than the president. Not saying that he don't have the right to veto, but it doesn't mean that everything that he says is going to go through.
Right.
We do have some underlying people that are just as responsible for this situation. And the shutdown doesn't just fall on the president, even though we're being able to see him being on the forefront of everything. It doesn't mean that he's the one that's highly responsible for all of this. Right. We just need to be more educated on what's going on in this government, because we do not live in a society of where things are going to always fall in place.
Right.
You can't always run to the government for assistance. So that's what being able to lean on our neighbor is supposed to be for. And we don't have that anymore.
Right. But when it comes back to the shutdown and how it affects so many people, it's a thing that that in a certain community that people thrive for this. And these are the same people that you don't want them to, be able to get what they want, because it's like you paying their way of living, and you want to take that away from them and let them understand, this ain't all you got. I'm for that too, because a lot of people get certain benefits and assistance from the government, and they just feel like, oh, that's what it is. They'll live their life like that. I know plenty of families like that, and they moms and dads just stay on it and never get off it because it's free government assistance, it's free money, so it kind of handicap you. It makes life a little bit comfortable for them, but it's harder for your kids, because if this all they grew up knowing, what else they gonna know?
Right.
Well, they do make you learn how to be a little bit more stronger in the areas you should be.
Right.
But we know that there are epidemics in this community that are far-fetched beyond the things that we can control.
Right.
And systematically along these years, things have been this way, where you have families that constantly depend on the system. But however, when we're talking about a government shutdown, we're not talking about just people who are dependent on the system. We're talking about people who literally are not being paid.
Right.
And that, you know what I'm saying? And it's not just falling on.
You're tampering with people's lives,
Yeah,
you know?
this is
all
what
over.
leads to people breaking into homes. This is what leads to fraud. This is what
I'm
leads
thinking.
to
I'm
all
thinking the
kind of
government
things.
is just testing the water, you know what I mean? I think they just testing the water to see the reaction of people, like what type of reaction.
So what they can do a martial law? Because that's all it's going to end up being.
That's basically what they trying to...
This right here ain't something that just happened overnight. This was like
it was
already like
planned. Well, that's
existence.
politics. That's politics in general. We know that about politics. We talking about right now the way that it's affecting people and the way that
you got some people already, you know what I'm saying, is really like in a panic, you know what I mean? Like what Will was saying earlier about how people had been depending on the government. I'm not for that, you know, just sitting around like looking for a big government. Like people just depending on the government to do every and anything for their situation. I'm not for that. But I mean, when you've been handicapping a person for so long and in a continuation, and what else you think is going to happen?
But we can't keep focusing on the handicapping of the people. We talk about the people who are being furloughed and the people who are having to get up and go to work every day and worry about putting gas in their car and they ain't getting no damn paychecks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I can understand. Now, for the people who are receiving benefits are going to be cut off. Mm-hmm. So the dependability is going to be a whole nother subject at another time, because then that's when crime rates go up. We know that. It has happened in history before, where when things are not being given, when food stamps are not provided and the Medicaid benefits are not provided, things can go haywire. We know that. However, you have that on top of federal people not being paid. That means people who work in federal prisons. Yeah. That means people who get up and go to federal hospitals, the VA, things like that. Like, these people having to come to work and they are not receiving checks. Right. And this is what, we 2 months in now? Mm-hmm.
And it's right in our backyard. It's happening right in our country. You know, that's the sad part about it, is like we go try to fix other countries and it's just like all this confusion and nonsense just going on right in our country, and it's like right before our eyes and people can't see it. But now is the time for preparation, you know, like let's see the solution of it, you know, even if it's gonna be right at hand, like how is we going to be prepped for these things? Right.
But we do have things that are people that are offering assistance.
Right.
In the communities to help help people along the way. What's some of the things?
Some of the like second harvest banks, you know, you can look online for that and, you know, get ideas and find different communities that is going to be allowing these type of service to help others, you know. Mm-hmm. Florida community outreach programs, Florida State, you know, look into that as well. They got programs that's going to be helping people in need of help, you know. So,
and it said that students can take advantage of that, because you know a lot. This is affecting students as well. Like that messes up financial aid, housing assistance. Like this is not just affecting people who receive assistance, and that's what I think people need to understand. This is bigger than that.
So my people, you know, like I said, we in trying times, so it's time definitely to come back together, you know, and help one and help another, you know, whatever you can do in these times, you know. So keep that in mind. However, don't let the government persuade the way you think on helping the next person. So I just wanted to touch on that. But, you know, our next topic will be speaking on violence in our city. Like, well, it's a lot of things been happening in the city lately. How y'all been feeling about that as well, though? Like different violence, like women being killed, kidnapped and all this type of stuff.
We ain't got no protection for the women no more.
There's no protection for the women.
It's hard. They got all the dudes locked up, and then it's hard. You know, I understand where a lot of women. I mean, I'm not going to even touch on that too far, but it's serious, and it's a serious situation. And I mean, I've been in Tallahassee all my life, you know, and this is a community that's, I mean, I done seen it, you know, transfer like into a whole new. I mean, you would think this another big city or something.
So what you think that shifted it? Like,
drugs.
Drugs is a
drugs,
big,
always going to be in the communities.
Yeah, but drugs is a factor, and it's a factor. It was really that new drug that came out that they was out here. You know what I'm saying? Like those, man, the things that these people are doing for that stuff, like, I mean, it's crazy. So, that take a toll, what I'm saying, on the community, because you got people that don't have jobs because they can't get a job because they study getting arrested because they don't want to go to school, get the education. So then it's like you back to square one. So now you got to do whatever you got to do to get what you need. But along that, you try to find something to ease the pain. So you don't have money. So you go break in the car, get some money, and you go get high.
But what's the solution?
The solution,
because it's so much going on that we need. It's so many different organizations going on. It's so many different things that are working that are in effect to help, but people are avoiding it.
Right.
And sometimes it's just people don't want the help and want to go look for the help.
People don't think they got a problem.
Right.
Exactly.
So
and that's what I was gonna come back to. I was gonna say, because it takes the person. You have to want to do better. So at the end of the day, if you don't want to do better, you're not gonna do better. You could take a person. The old saying is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Right? Right. So, I mean, what can you do? You can only continue to do what you can do. As many programs like this program, this podcast that we're doing right now, the purpose of this, the loop, is to give a person the outlook on, what's going on around.
Inspiration, hope.
Show them what we're seeing and give us your input on what you might see and what you feel like can be done to help your community.
And I think as well, like, people not like reaching out to like one another, actually like sitting down, taking that time to like to say hey to the next person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you can say hey to someone and they turn they nose up to you. You know what I mean? Like just a small gesture, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Can make a person whole attitude like turn upside down, and I want to know like why is that? You know what I mean? Because I didn't come from a background where you couldn't speak to people in your community. So you know what I mean? Like nowadays, people being so afraid.
That's how you raised. Like it's a lot of people that just not raised correctly, or raised to even be that way. Or half of them not even being raised at all. You got to think about that. Think about how many kids are sitting down directly in front of a video game on a regular basis, and their parents are off doing a million other things and not giving them the attention that they really need to actually be out here surviving. It's so much of that going on. It's so much of kids just being grown going on. We got a lot. It's a lot more different epidemics facing these kids now than it was when we was growing up too. To be perfectly honest, because we was raised to be stronger individuals. No matter, we was raised to know that if you following, being a follower was wrong. Now everybody doing what everybody doing.
Right, and then I think also as well, like with the big social media world, YouTube world, with everything the internet got to offer, it's a big market. So it's like people as well seeing violence, violent acts getting carried out on the YouTube channels and the videos and et cetera, to now it's like it's almost becoming a fad. Like it's okay to be a 15-year-old, 10-year-old that almost have a gun now.
Yeah, well, that's definitely that's popular anyway. Being able to do violent crimes and being able to be looked upon as the person who, like, you know what I'm saying, that nigga who that's what kids get like fascination from now. But the violence ain't gonna change unless we start stepping up as the adults, and taking more of a hold on the people in our community, our children in our community, and things of that nature. If we want to be their leaders and give them examples, we have to be the ones that's actually providing that type of reassurance that it's okay to come talk to somebody, that it's okay to know that you're going to fall, that it's okay to not have the best self-esteem and come and talk to somebody to get that self-esteem. We got to tell these kids that, because these kids are being raised to think that having a conversation and talking to people about your mental, like issues that's going on with, that you're a sucker. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we all have issues. We all have things that are bothering us. But in order to stop violence, stop the drug use, slow down being manipulated by the system and manipulated by our peers. In order for us to change that, we have to be better leaders to them.
So
we
it's
have
time.
to stop letting them see or think that what they doing is okay.
Yeah, so it's time. I feel now it's like it's gonna have to start in the community as well, and we can't always just be dependent on the churches. Like the church got to go out and do this and do that. You know what I mean? Like it start right in our neighborhoods, like amongst us young black men stepping out. You know what I mean? When we see a younger child, a younger kid. Young man, doing things wrong and out of character, it's time to pull them to the side. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what's cool when you step down and let him know correction.
That's what happened when we was growing up. The OGs did that. That's what they did. Like you knew the OGs was selling or doing things wrong or being wrong. But guess what though? They told us we ain't gonna do that.
Right.
That ain't how we gonna live, or this is not how things are supposed to operate. And now you got the older men boosting these kids up. Yeah, they want to be. But they boosting them up to use drugs.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They telling them it's okay to use drugs. They ain't being leaders to these kids. They teaching them to be drug users. And that's what's becoming a bigger problem in our society. They're systematically learning to use drugs.
So also it come back to, I feel as well, like basically young teenagers and having, kids early, and no direction. So they guided by the streets. And if you can't get it at home, the next step is going to be in the streets. And always the streets not the right way. But I'm not saying the streets is always a bad way, because some things you can get some information that you need to know, you know what I mean, and be alert, you know what I mean, to know what's going on, not as naive,
Yep.
So I'm not gonna always just blame the streets for everything.
The streets ain't never always. We never supposed to look at it.
But
as
don't let
negative.
the streets raise your kids. That's what I'm saying. Don't let that happen.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything got to have a counterpartner to it.
Yep. So what's up, bro? What's going on next? What we talking about next on here?
We're gonna be speaking on Black excellence.
Oh, you gonna come back to that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we already built up the community portion in a way, but we can throw that out a little later. But as far as Black excellence, let's talk about some of the wonderful things that'll be going on in our community that are happening with some of the strong Black people and business-minded people that we have out here. So one of the bigger things that are going on is, let me see, I got a whole list of things, y'all. Visions in Full Bloom. They will be hosting a vision board concept party on February 9th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Woodville Branch Library. So that's gonna be good. That's Tricia Ayers and Fit Diva Society. So y'all check that out. Women, men, all y'all across the board. That's supposed to be an open event. So come out to that.
Black excellence.
Yes, of course.
Definitely for that.
We all for that. And then we have a casting call by the Eclectic. It's going to be held over at Goldie Sounds. Where we at now?
Right.
Goldie Sounds, yes. We
representing.
all in their studio.
Right.
Yes. February 2nd. It's going to be for all driven and dedicated artists. I forgot to write down the time, but we got it posted on our page, so y'all check that out on February 2nd. On February 9th, we have the Self Women's Retreat, which is from 2 to 6 p.m., and it's going to be at J2 Couture Studio, and it's going to be a wonderful event. Y'all can check out on eventbrite.com, self2k19 for ticket information. And there will be an after party soiree for that from 9 to 12 a.m. also at Goldie Sound. So y'all check that out. There's a lot of things going on. On February 20th, there's a lookism and sexual harassment panel discussion. Wow. And that'll be out in Railroad Square, hosted by Pink Fox Entertainment. And it's from 6:45 to 8 p.m. and doors open at 6 p.m. That's going to be good. And myself, y'all, I'm with Shelby's Bistro. That's me. And I will be hosting a cooking class for the youth from ages 7 to 18 on February 16th. It's from 12 to 2. If you want information on that, email me at shelbysbistro@gmail.com for more info. And that's a lot of the wonderful things we got going on in our community, Black excellence, all the good things we got going on, y'all. So follow us on The Loop. Check us out on our YouTube channel and all of that for more info, because we're going to always keep y'all posted on what's going on in the community.
All right. That's what's up. Definitely keep y'all aware of what's the latest, Keep
That's
everybody informed on what's going on in the world.
In the world
Especially in
and our
Cali.
community. Yeah, definitely on Canada. Definitely on Canada.
What's up, Will?
What's going on, man?
What's going on, Will?
I'm just give y'all.
You usually have a lot to say. You kind of
Well, I had a lot going on last week.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's been a lot. It's been a long 2 weeks.
It's been a little wishy-washy.
I'm gonna just touch down a little bit on community programs, basically community outreach.
Right.
Just programs. One in particular that I know of, that's kind of a nonprofit program. Basically that's they look out for the kids in high school in the the local areas. They even partner up with certain departments for programs and things that you can do. If you want to get in touch with someone,
Let the people know about
you can
that.
get in touch with Devin Repress. That's at Tally D. That's 850@gmail.com. If you want to get information from him, and you can go on the website.
Who that again?
Let's say that again.
Who that was?
Get a little more clear.
Devin Repress.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
Devin Recipes. Okay, yeah, definitely went to school with him. He's
Right.
a cool guy, good guy.
Right.
Man. So,
But I'm gonna just say a little bit about how I feel and what I feel like, things that I did coming up. That I think that people can can look at, because summer's coming up pretty soon. We just getting through the winter, but when the sun come back out, a lot of other things come out. So just to kind of prep you for.
And what you mean on that? When the sun come out, a lot of other
when the
things
sun come out, it get hot, and it get hot in all ways.
Okay.
And if you're not in the position to stay out that hot sun, you're gonna get caught up, and you're gonna be in another hot sun.
Gotcha.
And
Understand.
we just trying to we want to keep it from being that way. Especially with our youth. So what y'all think? What's some of the things that y'all think that y'all can put out there to help these guys and these girls that may be in need and distress for some of the community programs that's out here? We got the help for them. We the Loop, so what we know.
Well, it's a lot of different community programs that I'm aware of. One of them, one in particular that I love is is with Miss, I can't forget. Lord, I hate that when that happened. Lord, I can't think of her name right now, bro. But she got a real good program. Anyway, it's for the youth girls. It's a girls' youth program. She operates throughout the year, all year long. She also operates through the summer, and she do a whole lot of different activities with them, teaching them about health, sexuality, keeping them involved in volunteering, grades, mentoring. And I'm gonna have to put her on our website, y'all, on our Instagram page, because I have completely forgotten her name, and that is terrible. Her last name is White, but it's a great program, and we have a lot of other organizations like Blue Lotus. She offers youth services during the summer, so it's a lot of things that are going to be coming up that she offers, that she has access to. She does a lot of modeling things with the kids, like natural, holistic services with the kids. That's good. See, of course, we know City of Tallahassee got a lot of organizations happening throughout the city. DYG, Distinguished Young Gentlemen, they do a good youth organization, youth program
Right.
that we need to kind of like get the kids more involved in. They always do a huge big dance the first of the year, where they go to the moon and get dressed up like we used to do, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, they usually keep
teaching them how
things
to be real distinguished.
Right.
and stuff.
real professional and nice.
Yeah, it's real nice. Of course, me and my husband got a community organization called The Loop, where we partner other resources together to keep people situated. But we don't have a standing business or a standing organization for a location. We just travel around and offer services. What other stuff you know about, bro?
Actually, my idea is going to be coming up to basically reaching out to young men. I want to start a program called, Young Gentlemen's Club or whatever. Who to talk to, someone they can reach out to, older guys, and so that's what I'm gonna like be starting a program for younger men. So we'll be looking forward to that.
Okay. Will.
Well, I mean, I'm part of the community, so I'm always in tune with kind of what's going on, you know. So I mean, I'm more of a person that kind of I'm watchful. So you know, I'm looking for more things right now. So I got a little delay on some of the things that I got going on. But next week when we come in, I have a little more input for you,
More information for him.
Yeah.
Well, y'all do check out Devin Rispers with the Record Breakers, because he has an organization that's supposed to assist with the high school youth and help them get themselves more established in the community, as far as getting started in college and getting accepted with scholarships and stuff like that. So he's good. I think that's going to be a real strong program for the community. He's been doing this thing already. So, and that's Tally D. That's TALLYDEE 850@gmail.com.
Right.
So if you got a high school athletic student involved in their school, hit them up. And if y'all need help getting scholarships and stuff, that might be a good person for y'all to have as a connection. And he's played sports all throughout high school too, and went off to college. So I think he'll be a good person for y'all to get in contact with. Oh, yeah, one more good thing. Sky Zone. For the rest of the month of January, they are offering free jumps for federal and government families. So if you are a federal employee affected by the shutdown, you can bring you and 3 members of your family to Sky Zone to have free jumps from Tuesday through Thursday for the month of January. I don't know if they're going to extend it, but this is something that's going on. I checked the resources out. I checked the website. It's real, y'all. So definitely look into that and get yourself involved in checking out, going to get jumping for free. And again, we're going to have a lot of the resources and information posted on our YouTube and our Instagram about what we discussed today and the resources you can receive as far as the government shutdown, community outreach programs, and all that good Black excellence we got going on.
Right.
And trying to do better in our city with all this violence going on. You know?
Yes, to eliminate it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So if getting kids involved in stuff probably gonna help more out in that area than anything. We got to keep these kids busy.
Right, always giving them something to do.
Yep.
When I was a kid, I know I always needed something to do.
Right.
I love the
positive
sports
out there, you
right.
know?
I love the
Let's
sports.
feed more positive in the world, man. We could do less of all this negative stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, Will. So, but yeah, y'all. So again, we down here, Goldie Sounds.
Go to sound.
This our first podcast of
Right.
2019, y'all. We super excited. Y'all check us out every other week. This going live Friday. If you on live right now with us, you get a little snippet of what we talked about today.
More to come.
More to come. But we will see y'all in a week or two. Check y'all out. It's the loop. It's the loop.
Hey.
It's the loop.
It's the loop.